Hi guys, Aussie Coin Hunter here. Well, this video and a couple of others I've had for some time. Now the problem is, the reason why it's taken so long to come to you is because I don't want to edit it. I've nearly thrown it in the bin a few times. I might have mentioned it in other videos. And the reason is because I filmed, and I was filming with the iPhone 7 and the microphone wasn't working. So I finally come up with a way to do this, and I'm going to start with the roundup because I'm speaking. What I might do is just slot in the moments when I found them. Now they may have sound, they may not. I'm thinking of doing voiceover. I've just worked out how to do it. So yeah, a great hunt. Something I don't want to just leave by the by, and I want to keep a record of it. Alright guys, enjoy. Alright, now I've had this jacket. This is a jacket my wife got me when she went overseas. So this will be good for you. It's one of these like Stephen Gray wears and Anglo-Celtic. My wife bought it when she was in Europe too. And I put everything from this hunt into here, and it's been there for months. Didn't film the roundup. So here we go. Here's these shells that I found. People would have eaten these, eaten the stuff inside of them. And so what we got is some keys. It's a bit of a bottle top, little brass thing with steel going through. That's an earth clamp. Copper wire, sorted copper wire. We got a modern driver bit there, little copper pipe, tarpaulin rings, some modern tech screws, a couple of cars there, and plug. Plumbing thing. I hope the lighting's working for this. Some bullet shells. This one is really blown apart. It's been fired. So I'm going to check out what the head stamps are on these. There's a bone. I don't even know what that's from. Some blobs. And this has little holes in there. If I can zoom in, you can see it has holes. Then it has a little top, and I think it has some kind of eclipse, and that comes off, and it might be a salt and pepper shaker lid maybe. This little thing here has a hole through each side, and we've got part of a horseshoe there, so that's showing the age of the site. It looks like a Meccano kind of toy wheel, metal wheel. Brass screw, cool drink lid. It says cola beer, but it says Mac Niggers or something. Can't see it. The old bicycle valve stem. And start getting, there's the back of a pocket watch, brass ring and a nice marble there. We've got a switch cover. That's an original switch cover there, this one. Inside of some clocks. This is a dog's little, what do you call it? His dog tag. Has Vic Park on it. I'll have to clean it to see, but it's actually got dog hair on it. So I think this was a dog that was buried on the site. Wonky Ashman. And look at the little paw prints. Can you see the little paw prints? One next to Ashman and one above Ashman on that side. I think that's a cool little touch. Phone number 93611684. So, and on the back, 2 of 12 Boulder Street, Eastwick Park. Now where I was at the time, well, it was in Eastwick Park, but long story short, I tried to find out what ash. At first, on the other picture, it was very hard to read, but I thought it said Wonky Bushman. I thought, oh, that's a cool name. But then I really looked with the magnifying glass, and it's Ashman. Found that Ashman is an English name. So they've gone, right, he's our dog, we're the Ashman family, and we're going to call him Wonky Ashman. Now, I rang the number, it's disconnected. I thought maybe I could talk to someone who knew Wonky, what sort of a dog he was. But the age can be determined by the phone number, because the 9 was put onto the front of the phone numbers in the 1990s. So at least when this was made, it was around in the 1990s. And I don't think if I went to that address that someone would be there who knew Wonky. So, but I just thought I'd show you that. That's what's cleaned up. It's cleaned up better than what it was. It was really bad, but poor Wonky, his grave was disturbed by the earthworks and that, and he's gone. Everything of him was gone except this and the little bit of hair. So thought I'd just take a little time to do it as a tribute to Wonky. Electrical stuff. There's that whistle together instead of apart. So at this, you can see I found this. When I first found this, I was like, what the heck is it? And sorry for the poor camera work here, but basically I sit there and I put it together and I said, hey, it's a whistle. But there's a top part missing of it. So yeah, cool. It's cool when you find something you don't know what it is at first. These are those waistcoat clips. That one's in really nice condition there. Yeah, so I clear my things away, get the machine. I was trying to show, because you could hear it there and there. There was two, in the swing you got 2 beeps. So I pick up one, and at the very end I'm going to pick up another one, you'll see. They were that close apart, that close together. There's this old spark plug. And we got a little pendant here. I'm going to try and clean that up a little bit. Yeah, so when I found this, it was, I think I'd point and show where it was, just sitting right on the top, right there, just sitting there. Clean that up, do some good pictures. $0.20, 2 10-cents, 2 5s, 1 2 and 2 1s. Got this text end or something, it says. It's like a little clamp clip, suspender clip. And then we get into we've got the toe taps. Okay, so here I've gone for one target, and off to the side there was this heel plate. Yeah, so I'd found a target here. It must have been junk, and then I saw, as I looked ahead, I'd scanned it with the machine, and it's heel plate or toe plate, not sure. For shoes, women's shoes, men's shoes, that's it, go on the ends of the shoes. And we got some pennies here. What are the dates, Lee? That's 1951. Huh? 1951. So 1951. Now this was actually the first coin that I found on site, and I was like, wow, look at the condition of it. Sometimes I think coins go under the house, or they're under something at the time the house is built. There's just no other explanation for it. They drop it and they're in fairly good condition, and they just get protected by, for one, being under the house, and for two, maybe something on top to I don't know, I can't explain it, but I think I'll go to do a clean-up after this. So I've just given it a wash, and I think what I'm trying to show is 1951. Then I'm showing this bit of copper pipe, brass pipe. Now what happened was I had scanned and I'd got the good signal. I found the copper pipe, and then I scanned again before I left the hole, and this was underneath it. So always scan your holes, even though you get a good target, scan again before you go.
So 1951, 1945.
45. It's a real pain. The sound hasn't been working with this, but this is quite a nice. Obviously, I've cut out all the what do you call it, all the trash items. I've only kept the footage that was. I try to do live digs on each one, but you can see here 1945 penny, and it's always nice when you find a coin this size. $47. Okay, so this is you can see the coin there to the left, but I'm showing the horseshoe that I mentioned earlier. So I actually had a good signal mixed with an iron signal. So I'm obviously showing, okay, cool, I found this old horseshoe, and then we get onto the coin, because I dug up one and then swung again and found the other. So this is the 1947 half penny. So yeah, you got to clean everything out.
Yeah.
1918. It's over 100 years old. So now, funny thing about this was I had gone right over the site. I probably spent two and a half, 3 hours maybe, and I'd come back to the front because I'd kind of neglected the front because I thought there's a lot of newer rubble there. But I come across this coin, got the good signal. It was really hard work, but. And I realised just how good condition it was, and you sit there and think, how the heck can this coin be sitting? And to this time, last year, well, it was last year, and still look this good. I was quite surprised, but very nice. This big one gave me a heart attack. I thought, oh, it's a big silver coin, but no, rejected. I just realised we haven't looked at. Yeah, so this was just after I'd found it. I actually thought it was just a crumpled up bit of metal, but it turns out to be a doll's face for a small child. Now, I have found these online, and I will include the date ranges I've found for this. It's pressed copper, or yeah, bent it all back out into shape. Look at that, little ears. Does have a mark here. Minor, Milner. Okay, so this is something I found. I'm going to put links in the description. I don't know if many people know this or bother to look, but in the description I actually put information and links there to help with some of the things I can't include in the videos. Metal-headed dolls were made in Germany from 1888 through the 1930s. They were meant to be more durable than the Biscay or China-headed dolls, but many have not survived well, having a tendency for the paint to chip and crack or the head to rust. Heads were moulded from a sheet of tin or metal and were usually found on kid leather or all cloth bodies due to age and use. Bodies of the dolls did not outlive the tin heads. The most familiar name related to tin head dolls is Minerva. They were manufacturing in Germany from 1894 through the early 1930s by Buschau and Beck, a German company. The tin heads were sold separately from bodies, advertised in many old catalogues. Tin or metal head Minerva dolls were designed with painted hair, painted eyes, glass eyes, and some with mohair wigs. There were also a sleep eye version. So yeah, we're looking at between 1894 through to the 1930s. This one, as opposed to a picture, I'll show you again. I'll show you here the Minerva name on my one. It's seems old, but then you'll see a picture I'd found where you could see that it's very lightly pressed, whereas the one I've found is quite pronounced. And then on the side here, you've got like some letters. So I'm giving it a clean. You can see the paint on the eyes. This one's not so great, but look at that one. You can see the roundness in the eye. Very cool. And still the paint there. So this is made out of pressed light copper or whatever, and then they paint it. Okay guys, now as I said earlier, I probably spent about maybe 2-3 hours on the site, and I was just taking it slow. I actually meant to go back and I haven't gone back since, but I did work pretty hard through the whole site, digging mainly the high-end targets first, and then started digging into the 60s and you know, all the good targets basically. So I may go back there again soon, but the targets that were there were few and far between. So, but when I got up to the front after I'd found the 1918 halfpenny, it was interesting because I suddenly saw a man standing at the fence, and he's like, "Hey, have you found anything?" It's an older gentleman, and I walked over and talked to him, and I pulled out all my coins and showed him at the fence. He proceeded to tell me that his house, where his house stood, was actually originally 2 houses within the envelope of his land. Then on the side of the fence, from that side of the fence to the road, and actually into the main road, it's a big main road in Perth. He said there was 4, so another 2, so 6 in total between. But the road had been expanded, so that had taken in half of this other one. So technically on the land that I was detecting on, there would have been another 4 homes. But as I say, as the road expanded over time, basically it ended up with just the house that was there and his house, the 2 lots. But originally between his house and halfway into the main road, it was 6 houses altogether. And when he arrived there was still the 2 had gone off his, but there was still 4 there. And basically he said that the highway had widened, but there was 2 houses where that house was when he had first purchased the land, something to that effect. Anyway, he had told me as well that it was great to have that bit of history, and whether it was him or his father, and the gentleman said that someone had been detecting on that site where I'd been for a whole day. He'd been there virtually the whole day. As soon as the house had gone down, he was on there for the whole day. So even though this guy had gone on there and spent the whole day and this gentleman had been watching him, I still found these items. So I don't know what it is, whether it's just people are in a big rush or people just lean on their machine too much. But at the end of the day, only time would tell. Only you'd have to speak to that person, see how they hunt. But I think there's that element of either they're just in a big rush, which obviously he wasn't, or he's leaning on the machine, or maybe he only wants perfect signals and didn't want to go with iffy ones, and that's where all this stuff that I found came into play. But guys, I'm going to end the video there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly enjoyed the hunt and the finds. I learned a lot from the finds. I'm going to put stuff into the description. But got a special friend who's going to say the closing remarks of this video.
Take care, good luck out there, and bye for now.